What is a 100% legal scam that we still accept as normal? Planned obsolescence at an unreasonable scale. My parents had appliances with 25-year guarantees. Nobody does that now. But decades ago it was expected, and if a company didn't do that, nobody would buy their products. Over time, consumers just kind of allowed this to happen. It's hard to find any appliances with decent warranties. I needed to replace a washing machine, and the repairman told me, "Don't buy an appliance from a company that sells phones." Man, I will never buy a Samsung appliance again. I've commented whole rants other places. But basically just me hours in the phone and multiple service calls only to be left with a subpar and expensive product. Giving away our privacy to corporations. All they had to do is strengthen user data protection laws, but instead they banned TikTok, protecting the companies and not the people. Ads on paid subscriptions. I can't believe streaming apps make you pay a fee but still keep certain movies behind a paywall. What's the fucking point of me paying the $10 if half the good stuff is still $4 to rent? I would understand if it were just new releases, but on Prime there's like 20-year-old movies that you need to rent LMAO. Paying private companies to do your taxes. Most countries just send you a bill and you pay it or contest it. It's absurd that you have to pay a bill to figure out your bill even though the government knows what your bill should be. As the old joke goes, IRS, tax time. Me, how much? IRS, guess. Me, $600? IRS, jail. Convenience fee. Particularly when there's no other option for how to pay. Yup, I get when they charge an incremental fee for credit card versus cash, since it's a real incremental cost. If you can only use a card, it should already be part of the price. My old apartment stopped accepting checks for rent payments. All payments had to go through a third-party vendor which charged a $40 convenience fee. The fee was bad enough, but if you're going to rig it so there's no way to avoid paying the extra fee, they needed to roll it into the rent price. My car got towed to a lot half an hour away from where I parked. Cash only, $365, closed in an hour and charged $20 per hour for storage. Luckily I found a ride, but if I had left it overnight it would have been another $320. My truck was stolen, recovered by police, sent to tow lot, and it accrued fees over Thanksgiving when the place was closed for the holiday. Are you fucking serious? Towing companies are evil as hell if you haven't had any experiences with them. Very predatory and scummy. I put them on the same level as actual criminals in my head, although that may not be fair to some criminals whose crimes aren't that bad. I've done work for towing companies with impound lots, and they legally steal people's cars to rake in money hand over fist. If a person doesn't immediately find out where their car is being held and or doesn't instantly have hundreds of dollars to get it out, they probably won't. The storage fee is hundreds of dollars a day, which racks up so quickly the owner can't afford the fee. The impound lot can sell the car at auction to recoup storage and towing costs. After 30 days, the length of time varies by area. Free car plus nearly zero processing costs equals hundreds of thousands of dollars in easy used car sales income. Had this happened with my second car, the apartment complex towed it because it hadn't been moved in 7 days, while I was on rotation in Poland. I came home and reported it as stolen. By the time I found out where my car was, they wanted $4,000 in outstanding fees. The car was only worth about $1,800. I tried to talk them down on the bill to eventually find that they had already auctioned it anyway. I still consider that car stolen. MLM in any and every form. I tried to explain this to my brother's ex-wife every fucking time, and it was always different, in her opinion. It wasn't. It's not a pyramid scheme, this is a triangle. How people see those and convince themselves it's not a pyramid scheme is a fucking mystery to me. Desperation. Everyone I know who has been caught up in MLMs needed money badly, and they either already work a traditional job or can't. It's like they're scrabbling, grasping at straws to find some way to make more money makes them easier prey for scams. Replacement ink cartridges. It's crazy, but the printer ink cartridge industry and drug dealers basically have the same business model. The first bag is free, kid. Where the hell are these free drugs people are always talking about? I've had to pay for all my drugs. It's literally the worst. Drugs are expensive. Insurance in general, but more specifically health insurance, especially in the US. It doesn't even cover your eyes or your teeth. And if you get the right kind, it doesn't cover your general health either. Civil forfeiture. Police seized more assets last year than the total attributed to burglaries. Cops are bigger criminals than the criminals now. At the very least, if you beat whatever charges, they should automatically give you your stuff back, not have to jump through hoops and paperwork to maybe get your stuff back. That's the fun part with civil forfeiture. They don't charge you, they charge your property. You see, your property doesn't have any rights. Your property isn't due a fair trial. Your property is guilty until proven innocent. A lot of people saying healthcare, but specifically the fact that a doctor can provide services to you without telling you the price beforehand. Where else does that happen besides fancy restaurants? Haha, I remember when I was broke and always tried asking the admins for the cost beforehand. They acted like there was no way to know. Nowadays, most places I go to have a person on staff specifically to talk you through insurance. But that's really just a courtesy. And it's not a solution, it just highlights the problem. If I really need to, I will ask for the billing codes and go through them with my insurer myself. And as careful as I am, billing rarely works out the way it was discussed. Shit is so complicated that even the people working there don't understand it. And they make it that way on purpose. Total scam. Realtor fees and car dealerships. We just bought and sold a house, and the money we spent on realtors and other fees was astounding. Our realtor was great and very helpful, but do I think she did $20,000 worth of work over 2 months? Not even close. Do I think the buyer's realtor deserved $10,000? Also no. That everyone must work 40+ hours a week to survive. We've invented so many time-saving technologies, and yet the average amount of downtime has gone down, not up. The goal is to extract profit, not a high standard of living. Humanity is the most productive it's been thanks to computerization, automation, science, and technology, and yet we have less time off than a medieval peasant. It's depressing to read research from the 1970s forecasting the expansion of digital systems and how they would cause people to work just a few hours every week because of productivity increases. We've been absolutely scammed, and we think it's the only way. Tipping. I appreciate waiters and waitresses so much, but the customers should not be expected to subsidize your boss not wanting to pay you a reasonable wage. Pay your damn workers. HOA management. I think there's some legitimate uses for an HOA. For example, if you live in a condo, you have to work together with other owners in the same building to do basic maintenance like replace the roof every 10 to 15 years. And someone needs to administrate that. But HOAs with stupid rules about where you can put your trash can and what color you can paint your house. EFF that. Payday loans. Data caps for unlimited internet. Fast fashion. I'm not even just talking about the cheap places whose products you might not expect to last. Everything I buy seems to look like shit and or develop holes in 6 months. College textbooks that release a new edition with barely any changes just so they can charge full price again. Food industry allowing chemicals that will shorten our lifespans into our foods. Weddings and funerals. I'll speak to weddings. At least I fully believe that most modern weddings are just an exercise in vanity. I despise the wedding industry, and I sort of feel bad for people who get wrapped up in it, but I know a lot of women view the quality of their wedding as validation. You don't have to do any of it except get your marriage license and have it certified. The parties and standards that people believe are musts are astounding. So much of what people are planning for and paying for is for pictures to post on social media. I swear to God. Why does it matter that your bridesmaids all have the same goddamn nail color? It doesn't. But I want a big celebration to see all my family. Yeah, you can do that without a $50,000 bill. Anything with the words wedding or bridal attached to it gets a surcharge. Rent a hall for a family reunion. I wonder how wedding planning might change if there was a magic rule that no wedding content could be posted. What would still be important? Probably not nail color. Movie theater snacks. Why is it $37 for like 4 popcorns and drinks for 4 PPL? You want Raisinets? Forget it. We're saving for college. As someone who worked in a theater, the reason it's so high is the theaters don't make nearly enough from the tickets alone to maintain overhead costs to stay open. Think of the last few times you were at the movies. If any of them weren't packed screenings, then that means there's a lot of empty space not being utilized for at least the runtime of a movie. All while making sure enough staff and operating power are on hand and active in case a lot of attendees show up for a screening. Now multiply that by however many screens a given multiplex has, and that creates a huge gap between potential sales and actual sales. Again, all while needing to be prepped at any given time to be able to handle the off chance that a screening will have a random full house. Since operating costs can't logically be covered to that degree in ticket sales. And even if they were, the first weekend of a film's release window the theater only gets a percentage of the sales. And while that percentage goes up in the theater's favor every week thereafter, attendance typically goes down in that span as well. Ludicrous concessions prices is the only way to even remotely make it a profitable business. Now, do I like those prices? No, of course not. But when all things are considered, it's less so a scam, and more so a necessary evil if you want to be able to watch a movie in an actual theater. What is a 100% legal scam that we still accept as normal? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.